your assets. Now, I know all these assets are in 1920 by 1080. You should not be trying to run assets that are 720 in a 1080 stream, and you should not be trying to run assets that are in 4K in a 1920 by 1080 stream. You should be downsizing or upsizing those assets so that they are 1920 by 1080. That is all part of making your stream more efficient, and you should be doing that whether you're using OBS or Prism. This will make a humongous difference in how much CPU usage you're using. There we go. Now all those have been optimized. I'm going to go ahead and clear this, and we're going to use an overlay. So I'm going to drop that in there, and for the overlay we're going to use VP9 again, but I'm going to go into advanced features, and I'm going to go ahead and enable the alpha channel so that it will be transparent. And we're going to click start function, and this is where you're really going to notice a massive amount of difference. Look at the difference in the file sizes there. It's absolutely huge. So we're going to go back into Prism Live Studio, and let's go ahead and add our overlay scene. There we go. And for sources, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go into scenes, and we're just going to add that scene. There we go. And we're going to add an overlay over top of this, so we're going to go to video and music, click OK, and we'll call this overlay, and click OK. We're going to just browse here to our overlay, and we want to get the WebM file, which is this one right here, and we want to loop it since it's an overlay. You can change and adjust the speed and everything else. There we go. And now we can take our camera and make it smaller, and here we'll be able to add all of our text and everything else into this overlay as we see fit. That's what an overlay is. It's just kind of the basics for adding all the other stuff. So we would use stream elements to add our text up here and all the other stuff. But there you go. So now we have an overlay in here, and you can see that it's using a pretty decent amount of GPU and CPU, but it comes and goes pretty quickly. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. Prism is not going to be efficient and may even struggle on machines that don't actually have a graphics card, like an NVIDIA graphics card or something like that. So if you go in to your encoding and you don't have the NVIC encoder and you have to use something like X264, your machine may struggle, and you may want to make sure that you optimize all of your assets as much as you possibly can, because it's already overworking the machine to do the encoding process. And if it has to also encode assets that are not optimized or anything like that, well, it's going to really struggle. Let's add one more scene so I can show you what we did with these other ones. We'll just call this scene 2 at this point, and I'm going to go ahead and go to scene. We'll add my camera in here again. Then I'm going to go ahead and click the plus, and we're going to add one of those video sources that we resized, and we'll just add this one here, and we want to loop it. Click OK. We're going to move this below our camera. So this would be the equivalent of having a background running or whatever while you're doing anything. This could be a game, it could be whatever you want it to be, but you got to make sure that you optimize every asset in Prism Live Studio so you can get the most out of it. And I can probably load this up and my GPU won't go much above 20%, which is pretty good. You can see that my CPU is kind of almost untouched. But if you're running an X264, you don't have a GPU. So your CPU is going to be running the 20% plus the 5 or 6% that the CPU is doing here, and it's less efficient to encode that way as well. And that's why machines without a dedicated graphics card tend to struggle, especially with something like Prism Live Studio that isn't quite as optimized as OBS. So just keep that in mind. So if you follow these steps, you can optimize your Prism Live Studio to have the best chance of having a great experience when you're live streaming. Please make sure to resize all of the assets that you plan to use into the native output resolution, whether it's 1920 by 1080 or 720. Whichever one it is, resize everything and then run it and make sure that it is all WebM so it's totally optimized to stream. And if you follow these steps, you're going to have a much better and more efficient stream when streaming with Prism Live Studio. If you want to see how Prism stacks up against OBS, you should check this video out. Big thanks to all the sponsors that support the channel. You'll find their links below in the description under the heading Sponsors. I couldn't possibly do this without them or you, so thanks. And if you're always looking for tools, tips, and tricks to help make you a better live streamer or YouTuber, subscribe to the channel. My name is Michael Fire Jr. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.
Hey, Bolo.
OBS live streaming can be complicated and difficult. Today I want to show you 5 hidden features in OBS that can help simplify your live stream and make it a lot easier. And the best part is they're all built right in, so you don't need to download or install anything.
Move, bro. Move.
Hello my YouTube friends! The first hidden feature I want to show you is going to help you make what you see in your UI while streaming a lot easier. Now let's face it, there's a lot of stuff that isn't relevant while we're streaming, so we're going to fix that. So let's talk a little bit about our UI. This is really pretty confusing. There's just so much stuff here. So I like to always put this over here, and this way I kind of have the list. It makes it really easy to see what we have going on here and switch through it. You can even right click on this and go to grid mode so that you can see your scenes written out. Now you're probably going to want to name your scenes better than I did here, but this is just, you know, for an example. Another thing that you can do, I'm not sure people actually realize this, but these are stackable. So once you start your stream, you don't really need to have all of this stuff here. I can stack this right on top of there. Makes it a lot easier. You can switch back and forth if you need to, but now all the main focus is on my scenes over here. I've got my sources for the scene right here, and we have the audio mixer. Now, you don't really want to have to scroll through the audio stuff either, so you can actually right click on here and you can select vertical layout. And now you have all of your audio sources really easy to see right there. You can adjust this up and down if you like. It's pretty simple. And then most people are going to have another box over here with their chat or something like that, but you can use all of this stuff to your advantage. We could even make it simpler by putting this over top of that, so now we could switch back and forth between our sources. But now we have a really simple layout that makes it easy to just see the things that we actually need to see without all the other confusing stuff that we don't need to see. Let's say we wanted to drag this out of here again. All we have to do is switch to the sources, and we could just grab this and move it back
I got
over
4 hard
here.
drives installed on my computer.